So yeah, now that we completely agree with one another, what the hell do we do next? Um, I think we need to explore further the implications of these ideas, right? Um, because if we can speak the same language, then we can start to explore the same world, right? And find out new information about that world. I think it requires that people can, not necessarily agree all the time, but just speak a language which is understood by someone else. Uh, because if you don't have that intersubjective correspondence, then nothing's gonna happen. I mean, what you said about the body being sort of the space where this matter flows through reminded me of um, what Plato calls the receptacle, which is it's kind of the empty, formless void, um, which connects all things. And in another sense, you could think of it as uh, the body, um, which in one way is obviously formed. I mean, here it is. But in another way, from the inside out, it is formless. In other words, my consciousness, which is uh, allowed to emerge and arise because of my body, or it occurs with my body. Um, the outside of my body is formed, but the inner experience associated with that body is formless when you get down to it. Um, and it's a weird relation, isn't it? I mean, the way the within and the without, the inside and the outside, mind and matter relate, because they obviously relate. And I think what gets us into a lot of trouble is not recognizing the relation. And to fully recognize it requires quite a shift in your perception, I think. It's not just um, a new vocabulary that you adopt, it's a new experience, a new way of experiencing that you adopt or that transforms you. And it's weird that, it seems that people who are passionate about ideas recognize the transformative potential that they possess, whereas, you know, some people don't get excited about ideas and um, don't think that thoughts have anything to do with reality. Um, and it seems that that's mistaken. I mean, you don't want to be constantly reflecting. You got to act sometimes, but I think the point is reflecting is itself acting. Like you said, our brains at some level um, are corresponding with whatever inner experiences we're having, and so if you know theoretically there was a um, an MRI machine or some other technology we haven't invented yet that could literally read the motion of every molecule in my skull and give an exact readout of what's going on in my brain, I would not be able to think without the computer registering it. And so, hypothetically, all of my thoughts are public, public knowledge. Which not necessarily, because it's not the outside and the inside are uh, well, they are identical, but you can't just reduce it to the outside. I mean, you can, put me in one of these machines and know what my brain is doing, but you still can't stop me from thinking. I mean, you could drug me. I guess you could do all kinds of things to me, and this is, I'm just exploring this. I don't know where it's going. Um, but the point was, which I agree with you about, is that there's always a correspondence between our thoughts and our body. A change in our mind is a change in our body in some way. Um, and so we can't escape action. We can't escape change and doing, and as much as we think we can actually reflect, pull ourselves out of experience, out of reality to you know imagine without affecting anything. You can't do that. You're so embedded in this ocean um, that no matter what you do or try not to do, you do something. You affect something. That's just the way it is. And when you really realize that, you could go one of two ways. I mean, you can, and on the one hand, recognize that your body is coextensive with the rest of the cosmos, but on the other hand, you could recognize that the cosmos is determining every move that you make, and you're just this big, huge organism which is doing you. Alan Watts puts it as the two ways that you do it or it does you, and it's both at the same time. And uh, when you first confront that, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's still overwhelming. I don't know, you know, but I think I think we need to keep exploring ideas because I like them.